Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Living Life at Life U. I am your host, Dr. Veronica Garcia, and today I am joined by a super cool member of the Life University community, another amazing student, Miss Kristin Poole.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited for people to know you and know your story and know everything about Kristin.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my honor and my pleasure. All right, let's jump right into it.
Yes.
Tell me, where are you from, what quarter you're in, and where are you in the chiropractic program?
Yes. So I am in 12th quarter. I grew up in Northern Virginia, where I went to undergrad at VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia. And I found chiropractic through my undergrad program, but through kind of an obscure way. So I have an undergrad degree in fine arts. I have a bachelor's in fine arts in sculpture and extended media.
Wow.
And our freshman year, we lived about a mile away from our foundational arts building. So a mile each way, I was carrying my art portfolio and created this crazy tension pattern throughout my body. And I knew that no medication was going to take care of it because I was kind of just stoved up in funny ways. So I looked into chiropractic for the first time, and that was my first introduction to it. So I went in with a musculoskeletal complaint, but I left feeling more alive and more myself and kind of didn't understand the philosophy at all. I wasn't explained the philosophy, but I kind of just knew within myself that there was something more to this. And on campus, there was always a joke about the art program that, you know, if the business degrees or the science degrees don't work out, they'll just go join us at the art program. So there's kind of like this running joke of like, oh, if this doesn't work out, I'll just go be an artist over there with those kind of like those weirdos that are doing whatever they're doing in those buildings. So I kind of developed this opposite joke of, well, if being an artist doesn't work out, I'll just go back to school and be a doctor of chiropractic. And I went home and told my family that for the first time. And they're like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, where is this chiropractic thing coming from? So that was kind of my initiation and like my first like lasso pull into the chiropractic world. And I love kind of hearing everyone else's stories of how they found chiropractic because it is that same like initial like lassoing in and like this kind of gentle pulling towards the profession. So I graduated my degree and I was in the field of event design for 3 years before coming to school.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Tough event.
Yes, it was really great. The work we did was incredible. We did all of the Mardi Gras Society balls in Mobile, as well as special events, weddings, anything that kind of needed stage design, prop work. I worked on Mardi Gras floats for a little while, and that was really exciting. And like I said, the work that I did, I put my heart into it. And I love working with my hands, obviously. I just felt a deeper calling and a deeper purpose to serve humanity and serve the people. So I had this beautiful opportunity to reconsider where I was headed in life when all of the shutdowns occurred, because no events were happening.
Right.
And I had the opportunity to kind of consider what my goals were and if the work that I was doing, while I loved it and it was so dear to my heart, if it was making the impact that I needed out of my lifetime. So I was kind of considering all of these new career paths. And when I was speaking with somebody close to me, they said, well, if you could be anything in the world, what would you be? And so that joke came back into, well, if being an artist doesn't work out, I'll just go back to school. I'll just go back to school and be a doctor of chiropractic. So I was like, oh yeah, obviously chiropractic. And they're like, all right, well, why don't you do that? Why don't you pursue that? So it was a very easy pivot, kind of easy. Went back and did a few more science classes that we obviously miss in a fine arts program. And then just jumped right into Life University.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that story. And I love that it kept just being there. And I love that a close member was just like, what if you could be anything in the world?
You could be anything. Yeah.
What would it be?
Right.
The answer is chiropractic. I love that.
Right.
And you're almost at the end of the program. You're 12 out of 14 quarters, which means that you have 6 more months roughly to go.
Yes.
Tell me, what has been the trajectory, the journey so far?
Oh my gosh. I entered school having a belief of what chiropractic was. And through the trajectory of school, I realized that it is so much bigger and greater than my like preconceived notion of what it could be. In such a beautiful way that like the potential of the human body and the potential of chiropractic, and the mission of chiropractic is just so much greater than any one person or any one being. So through school, it's kind of just this awesome reminder of just the infinite potential of being. And through school is where I found MLS Club. And that was kind of this beautiful container for me to experience myself and experience how I'm showing up. And expand upon that. I came to school, again, not having the hard science background. So I felt not at a disadvantage, because I think the skills that I gained as an artist totally translate into chiropractic. But kind of out of my element. Right. My brain naturally kind of goes towards the art and the philosophy of chiropractic, but the science of chiropractic, I'm like, I walked into school being like, I feel like an imposter, and I feel like someone's going to find me out, that maybe I don't have this hard science background and the easy ability to pick it up as well. So I found this club that kind of fosters this trust and this confidence first in yourself and how you're showing up, and then translates directly to how you're showing up to the table and how you're showing up for the people that you serve. So it was just a really great community that I stepped into, and like just a great skill that I stepped into with this club.
And what does exactly MLS stand for?
Yeah, so MLS stands for Mastery, Love, and Service. And it was created from the heart and the light of Dr. Arnaud Bernier, who found that when he entered the profession, he saw chiropractors bringing people into further dis-ease and distortion rather than relieving them of dis-ease and bringing them into ease. So he found this great need within the profession to connect with the person on the table and to honor the system that you're working with. By listening to them and following their systems and picking up on these subtle cues, rather than going through an analysis that is kind of like a if then that, without seeing the entirety of the human being in front of you. So it's a beautiful approach to chiropractic. It is an approach to a life that really embodies being a grounded and centered and heart open person, and taking in the person in front of you on the table with just kind of this open heart, this compassion, and this connection
as a whole. Yeah. I love that. I love that, because I think that we're so used in healthcare to be in compartments, right? Something happens to your heart, you go to a specific heart doctor. Something happened in your digestive system, you go to a digestive system doctor, and so forth and so on. And it sounds like MLS is all about just taking away those compartments and just seeing the person as a whole and kind of just interacting, connecting, but also honoring, which is such a beautiful piece of chiropractic. And I love chiropractors when they're able to honor and the body in front of them, but also honor themselves when it's right to serve and when it's time to take a step back to serve self. What a beautiful thing that you found. And it sounds like you found home to an extent.
Entirely. I think we kind of take for granted that we are a hands-on profession. Obviously, yes, we're working with the entirety of the system, but some of the people that we see may not experience compassionate touch on a day-to-day basis. So baseline, putting your hands on somebody is an opportunity to connect and show them compassion and create safety within their bodies, and create the opportunity for them to experience themselves in a safe and loving manner. And like just that baseline before any adjustment, before any impulse, like just establishing that safety and trust within themselves is just a beautiful step that we should all be striving to reach.
Absolutely.
So,
if you could, Kristin, tell your 15-year-old something.
Oh gosh.
What would that something be?
Ooh, that girl needed chiropractic care. 15-year-old Kristin experienced so many changes, and needed that support and that loving touch and that compassion to navigate life. And I would tell her to find chiropractic sooner, because not only did she desperately needed it, but also to kind of have the perspective and get the philosophy and understand that there is more to life. There's more to life. There's more to living. There's more to being than kind of the systems that are in place with like a 15-year-old education and then going to school and kind of like this checking off to-do list of growing up, that I think that there could be just some more grace and compassion sprinkled throughout that. While I definitely would not trade my fine arts education for the world, I think I chose the right path to getting here. I would not trade in anything. I would have told her to find chiropractic and find a philosophy-based chiropractor to kind of instill that confidence within herself at that time.
I love that. That's beautiful. And if you could give any piece of advice for a new first quarter student who is feeling that imposter-like syndrome, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to hone in on their why, because their purpose in being through school and serving through chiropractic is so much greater than the imposter syndrome. And I know that the imposter syndrome feels so pertinent and at the front of what they're doing, and that they're going to be found out at any moment. But really, everyone is experiencing that to some degree. People who are deep within the philosophies might feel it about the science. The people who are deep in the science might feel it about the art, people in the art. So it's kind of this self-fulfilling thing of none of us kind of, as we're navigating through school, feel like we have a total grasp of it all, but we don't have to in this moment. We are all learning through every moment of life. So find your why, find your people, and find a community that is going to support you through these moments where the program does get hard and you do feel that imposter syndrome creeping in. But when you create a community that believes in you and trusts in you and creates that trust within yourself, it just makes all of the difference.
I agree. I love that. That's a great advice. I'm so excited for where the profession is going. I'm so excited that we get to be those people that we've been waiting for. And we get to step into those callings. And I'm really excited that over 200 years of this profession just being what it is with those three pillars of art, science, and philosophy, we get to have you joining the profession so soon. And you've already become a chiropractor. You're just getting the letters after the name and the boards and all the other things. I'm so excited for your community that you're about to serve. I'm so excited for your future and just living, loving, and serving and doing and giving and doing all the things. Thank you for trusting yourself. Thank you for taking that leap of faith. And thank you for that friend that said, if you could be anything in the world, what would you be? So,
thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. Dr. Arnaud Bernier had this dream of 3,000 points of light across the world to be those pillars of instilling this paradigm of health and healing into humanity and to serve from this area of heart open space. And not only did he created that community already, but it's really beautiful to see how that has trickled down through generations of chiropractors now of these incredible teachers and leaders within our profession have this beautiful connection back to MLS and how they're now impacting students. And it's kind of just this beautiful web of conscious chiropractic.
Conscious chiropractic. I love that. Or I'm going to use that one. Well, Kristin, have a beautiful rest of your quarter. Good luck as everything starts wrapping up in here so that you can continue blooming elsewhere. Where are you planning to go? Do you have an idea yet?
For after school? I have a few ideas, a few opportunities. I'm just kind of listening into what would serve me best so that I can best serve others.
I love that. Well, I'm sure it's going to be at the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
So we'll see you very soon, and good luck on graduation. Good luck on peak and luck on all the things.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You got this. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Living Life at Life U. Bye.